It gives me great pleasure to welcome a career development practitioner as well as a career coach who goes by the name of, I hope I say this right, if I don't, forgive me, Moefe Muruti.
Moope.
Oh, which is far from it. Moope Muruti, who completed a master's in career development and coaching at the University of Warwick in the UK. So every time I say UK, I just feel like we've got to switch over and use a British accent, yeah. Previously worked at the Department of Higher Education and Training and South African Qualification Authority, SAQA, which we all know. We all know very well, on post-school education and training. Please join me as we welcome her on stage. Round of
Good afternoon, colleagues. How are you doing so far? We're almost done, almost done. I'm going to talk about mastering the art of interviews. Who here has been in an interview, a job interview? Quite a few. Quite a few. And how did you find it? How did you find it? Did you get the job? You got the job. So you're good to go, ne? Okay. So what is the most important part of a job interview, you think? Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. 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 Yes, ma'am. So they're saying the most important part of a job interview is the preparation. So what you do before the interview can determine if you get the job or not. So we work at Career Services and we do interviews on a weekly. Today we're doing more than 30 interviews with graduate students from UP, and I could write a book about the things that happens at interviews. So before an interview, what do you do before an interview? So we're going to cover things that you're supposed to do before an interview and what the employer expects from you. So the first one, what the employer expects from you is that you get there on time. So most of the people that get there late, then your interview is ruined because now you are nervous, you panicked, you don't know what to answer anymore because you got there late. So getting there early, they say 15, 10 minutes before the time. Let's say your interview is starting at 10, quarter to 10, you are there. And then if you're doing online interviews, then you test your Zoom, your Microsoft before, 15 minutes before, because what we've noticed is 10 o'clock, that's when Zoom decides not to work. The mic is not miking. We can't hear you. The video is not working. We can't see you and we need to see you. So 15 minutes before, you test everything, and then 10 o'clock, we know, okay, I'm good to go. And then being prepared. You have to prepare for the interview so that you look at your CV, you look at a job description, you look at what you wrote on your CV when you were looking at the job description. Because some people lie on their CV. And then when you come to the interview, when we ask you questions, you don't know what to say because you lied on your CV. Can we take out our phone and answer the question from the QR code? So you're going to find a Padlet, and this Padlet is going to take you to two questions. And then you just type there. Ah, already, you're doing it. Okay, let's see what it's saying. There we go. Crop top. Crop top? Who said crop top? Oh, not to wear. Oh, I was like, do you know, we, we got a student, a law student who came for an interview and he was wearing a cap. A law student wearing a cap to an interview. Can we not wear branded t-shirts to an interview? Even if you don't have clothing, you can ask your friend. It's just for an hour. And then you write a note to say thank you. Wash it, you wash everything, and then you return them and you write a little note. Thank you. Hopefully I get a job. It's the little things that employers are looking for. So the minute you walk in wearing a cap, I've already made up my mind about the kind of person that you are. You're not taking this job seriously. Why are you wearing a cap? Yes. Mm-hmm. Remember, even if you're going to an interview to become a civil engineer and you're going to be on site, the interview itself is going to happen in an office. It's not going to happen there next to the bricks and the sand. So the environment itself doesn't want you to go. If you know, imagine taking a car train or a taxi with those things and you say you're going to an interview. It makes sense, right? Yeah. Let's say you work for, let's say there's an interview for SAB. Are you saying you're going to go wearing like a Castle Light t-shirt? Yes. I think that was a special case. That was a special case. So now are you saying you're going to wear shorts and a t-shirt to an interview and you will stand out and you will get the job? You can try that and then you can give us feedback. Out of these three people, so the one who's wearing headsets got the job according to her. Okay, the serious stuff now, the actual interview. So the first thing that you should do, you go to their website. You understand the company. What are they looking for? What are their values? What are their missions? What are their goals? What do they want to achieve? All that information is always on their website. And then you customize your interview looking at that. So the job that you're going to interview for, they're trying to fill a gap. What kind of gap are you going to fill in that position? Explore the kind of interview setting. We had a lady we invited for an interview, and then on the day of the interview in the morning, she sends an email. She's like, "No, I thought the interview was online, and I live in Joburg. I can't make it." Had she read the email, she would have found out that the interview was at University of Pretoria Career Services offices. So we had to reschedule. But other employers are not going to have that time. They would just say, okay, people who came to the interview today, we'll consider them, better luck next time. So please check on your email. If you're not sure, always respond to that email. Or maybe you're far, you can't make it to the interview, you respond, is it possible to have an interview online? And hear from them. Prepare questions that you will know you want to ask at the end of an interview. Always have questions. When they say, do you have any questions? Don't say no. We had a lady we were interviewing, and then also how you present yourself also matters. Because remember, interviewers have like a piece of paper that they rate you. So they're scoring you. Are you doing it right? 10 out of 10, 0 out of 10, 5 out of 10. And then if you come to an interview and we ask you, do you have any questions? And you not even serious about the interview, you like playing with this thing, just like I'm doing. This has literally happened. And then she's like, should I ask how much you're going to pay me? And then we just shocked. And then we said, yeah, you can ask if you want. And then she's like, how much are you going to pay me? And then we had to explain that information we only share with those that have made it. So if you're chasing money, especially if you are early careers, there's no need to chase money. It's your time to chase the experience. You're chasing what to put in your CV. You're chasing meat, so you want the meat to put in the CV so that other employers can see, oh, this person has experience doing 1, 2, 3. And the money should be the last thing. We also interviewed another guy. At the end of an interview, he said, do we get paid for this? And we were like, yeah, you get paid, because he thought he was volunteering. Yes. If they ask you what's your salary range expectations, what I do would normally ask them, how much is your budget for this position?
So in the past, I've asked, "What's your range?" And they literally said, depending on your experience. So we want to know what your expectations are, and depending on this, we'll set a budget. Straight on, I saw this is exploitation, but then I have to answer. I don't want to look unprepared or anything. So in that case, when they've said we're not going to answer your question on the range, how do I answer that?
Remember, you do your research before, ne? When you do your research, you also check the kind of people that do this job, how much are they getting paid? Because I also know some companies, they won't ask you that question. When they offer you the job, they will say, give us your pay slip. And then they benchmark. They will just give you just a bit more depending on how much you were getting paid, which saves them a lot of money because maybe you were getting paid a lot less than they're offering. So if they say, how much do you want to get paid? You tell them a number, but then you also tell them that whatever amount that you are offering, I will look at it and put it into consideration because you're not sure how much they're going to pay you. So it's just you're just negotiating. But most of you, they won't ask if it's like first job. And then when you're preparing for your questions, you should always have at least 2 questions, not just one or 2 questions, just to show them that you're serious about the job, and then you know the kind of work that you're going to be doing. And maybe you have questions, you looked at their website, you look at the job descriptions, and there are things that you're not understanding looking at the job. You write down those questions, and then you take your notebook with you. When they say, do you have any questions? Then you ask those questions. And then I know we get a lot nervous when we go for interviews. You even forget what you're supposed to say. So you need to have your own calming techniques. Make sure that you calm down before you start so that you remember all the questions, you remember everything. That's why it's important to also go early.
I have a question. So you mentioned that you need to do your research, right, before you try to negotiate your salary. So now if you conduct your research and you look on Google for the market-related salary, right, and they ask you a pay slip, what if you justify, okay, this is what I should get paid depending on the market salary, or what if you refuse to give your pay slip?
The thing is, they're betting on you giving them the pay slip because they know that they can always go with another candidate.
So, okay, what if I was getting paid so much money, and would they refuse to pay me that same amount?
The reason they're looking for your pay slip is so that they give you the amount that's relating to what you are getting. If you're giving them your pay slip, there's no way they will give you less. They don't want to give you less or more than extremely more than what you're getting paid.
Even with the stipulated amount that they advertised?
Usually it happens if they didn't advertise the amount. If they didn't advertise the amount, then they would say pay slip. But then if they advertise the amount, remember they say between 300 and 400.
Yes.
So then they would say depending on experience.
Okay, thank you.
I will say this again, be on time. And if you're not going to make it for the interview, call and say, I'm not going to make it because 1, 2, 3 happened. There's a lady that did say that I won't make it to the interview because I had to take my dad to the hospital in the morning, those kind of things, and then we had to reschedule. But then there's someone who just didn't come, didn't call, didn't send an email. We had to call and say, where are you? Why are you not here? And then they're like, oh. Be polite. So when you're answering your questions, even if it sounds like they're being tough, you don't need to also be tough to them. You take it with grace. You answer their question, whatever they're asking. Because some of them, there's always 3 people in an interview. The other one is the bad guy, the other one is the good guy, and the other one is in the middle. So there's always the bad guy. So you must just know, okay, I'm just here to do an interview. This bad guy is not going to get to me.
Before you continue, I had a question. Not necessarily more of a question. I think it's more of a question, though. You say before you apply to a certain position, right, you need to look into the company, their mission, values, and everything like that. But my question would be, wouldn't you say it's somehow sometimes better to have like a generic CV? Because let's look into the facts. How many percentage of CV actually, say the recruiters, go through data in terms of identifying the relevant details that are on the CV? Because one thing that I found out is that most of the time, if you spend too much time on customizing a CV, only for it to be looked 2 seconds, if you are in the quest of actually applying for a job, you end up being demotivated because the hard facts about applying for a job is that, 1, you are not guaranteed a response. right? So it can happen that sometimes you send a CV, there's no response. Nowadays also, most recruiters use like some profiling systems where they just check for some keywords in your CV to say, does this candidate have, say, in the context of IT, Power BI, or anything like that? So, would you say it's advisable to always customize the CV, given the what I've just outlined to say? It can happen that your CV sometimes is not even being looked into, versus having a generic CV where you just send out, given, say, the position, you just send out that one and, just that one CV, basically. Because...
Okay, I get your gist. So,
Sorry,
you
before I hand over to you, may I ask that we keep questions till the end of the session, please? Just because I know that it's a very interactive session and we all have quite a few questions to go through. So I'm going to come collect the mics from you. Thank you. Go ahead.
let me just answer your question. You need to customize your CV to the job that you're applying for, because some of the people actually read those CVs, and some, like your big companies, they would use their own ATS systems to pick up keywords. But then if you're looking at a CV, at a job description, and you can see that some of the responsibilities is something that you've done before or something that you have experience on, then you tailor make using keywords. So with AI, the gentleman this morning was talking about AI. So AI should help us. So you can use ChatGPT just to find out which keywords. Ask ChatGPT to pick up the keywords for this job description, and then you tailor make your CV. You don't copy and paste from ChatGPT into your CV. It's not a quantity over quality. It's always quality. If you need help, you can come to us. We'll help you with your CV.
It's not a Q&A. So if we
Okay, let
can-
me move on. Thank you.
Thank you.
So if, let's say, you get an interview invite and they're saying they want to interview you for your job, you can send us an email and say, guys, I have this job interview that I've been invited to. This is the job that I applied for. Can you please help me with mock interviews? And then you come to our offices and we prepare you for that job. So a lot of people from career services is the one that facilitates graduates and part-time work on campus. So we do a lot of CV reviews, we shortlist, we interview people. So what we've noticed is people are not using our services. And it's so disappointing when I'm interviewing someone who did not come to use my service to prepare you for a job. And then those ones that come, they always come back and say, I got the job, even if it's not on campus. Because at least now you have an idea of how to respond to interview questions. You have an idea of the kind of questions that they would ask. Some people don't even prepare for an interview. When they come to interviews, when you ask them questions, why did you apply for this job? Why this company? Then they don't even know what we do. So there's the email address. If you have an interview, please send us an email to that email address and then we will help you. And the gentleman, you can also use this one and you send us your CV and we'll assist you. So when you go for an interview, there's always that anxiety that you have. You feel nervous. Let's say you have an interview for Friday. You're not going to have peaceful sleep the whole week until the interview is over. You will not sleep well. So you need to find out why you are nervous. Most of the time you are nervous because you know you didn't prepare. You just rocked up to the interview and you leave it to fate. Lack of preparation. And sometimes when we have interviews, when we've been invited to interviews, already you're like, I'm not gonna get this job. Then why are you going to the interview if you're not gonna get it? So you must always have this positive outlook. You must even visualize yourself sitting in that office, doing the job. You see yourself getting the job. So those are the type of things that we always advise. You must visualize yourself in that position. Don't be negative. Don't have negative thoughts. I'm not gonna get this job. Nerves. Let's talk about nerves before the interview. When it's like 5 to 10 and you can see it's 5 to 10, now you can't even think. You just nervous. And if I ask you why are you nervous, you don't know. So I have a few techniques that I use when I'm nervous, especially at an interview. So when I go to an interview, I don't sit down. And in the waiting area, I don't sit down. I normally just pace or stand. Because I know if I sit down, I'll get more nervous. And then I take deep breaths. So can we all stand up and take deep breaths? Let's stand up. So when you're sitting there waiting for an interview, you'll remember me. You will remember me. So we're going to breathe in for 4 seconds. We inhale 4 seconds, we hold our breath 4 seconds, and then we exhale 4 seconds. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. Imagine if you do that 3, 4 times before the interview. You'll feel better. I guarantee you'll feel better. So you arrive early at an interview, and then you listen carefully to what the interviewers are asking you. And then if you don't understand, you would say, can you please rephrase your question? Or can you please give me an example? If you're not sure or you need to gather your thoughts, you can always ask, can you please give me 2 seconds to think about my answer? Yeah. What I also do is if they ask me a difficult question, I just take my water and then I'm thinking about my answer. You have 5 seconds, you thought about your answer, then you can respond. Always highlight. So an interview is a space for you to brag about yourself. There's no we. It's always I did this, I did not we. Because it's not a team, you are one, you are alone there, so you need to show them that you did all these things in a team, but you are the one who did the actual work. So the questions that they normally ask, the first question always, tell us about yourself. They want to see what you're going to say. So my method is always present, past, future. Present, past, future. So you would say, obviously, hello or good morning. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is X. I'm a final year student at the university. I'm studying whatever qualification that you're studying. You work part-time or you volunteer somewhere. And then you also say something about the future, what you would like to achieve in the near future. And then the other questions that they normally ask is behavioral question. So these ones, they want to see if you have experience or come across some of the questions that they ask you, to give them an example of situations that you've handled. How did you handle those situations? And we always use the STAR method. So STAR method, the S is for situation. So you provide context. This is what happened, the task. You describe the problem and the challenge that you faced, the action, what did you do, and then the result, what happened. So these are the common questions that they would ask you in an interview. So when you're preparing for an interview, you can just use this as a guideline to answering those questions, and then you don't like memorize your answer, but you have a go-to answers that you pick from your head when you were preparing. Because sometimes they don't ask you exactly like this, but they ask you in another form. So this is a behavioral question. They will ask, if it says, tell us about a time or give us an example of when you, then you know they want to know if you've had a similar situation. Then they would say, tell us about a mistake that you made. How did you handle it? Then you explain the context, you're giving the context of what you were doing. You were working at an events company as an intern, and you were responsible for ordering flower arrangements. And then a mistake happened. The flowers went to the wrong venue. What did you do to resolve the mistake? Then that is what you did. And then what was the result? So you always give a positive result. So if something did not work out, don't even. Because there was no solution there. Let's say the flowers situation was not resolved. Then why do you even tell them about this whole situation, because you didn't resolve anything? So there must always be something positive at the end to show that you know how to resolve problems. If certain things happen, then you'll know, I can handle it. So when you have your 1 or 2 questions after an interview, you decide which angle you want to go with. Some people, they want to know about the companies, because there's certain companies that, especially corporate, you work overtime, there's always pressure. You don't have time for yourself. And some people, they want a balance between their work and their private life. So when you get to an interview, at the end of the interview, do you have questions? Then you ask, how do you promote work-life balance in your organization? And then they would tell you, this is what we do. Maybe we don't let our employees go home with their laptops because it's family time, or sometimes you work from home, those kinds of questions. And then some, they like asking personal questions, like to find out the work environment that you're going to go to. Some would be honest with you, but mostly no one is going to tell you that this is a toxic environment. And then why is this role opened? So when you ask this question of why is this role opened, it gives you an idea of the position. Did someone resign? Did someone get promoted? Is the company growing? Is there space for growth if someone was promoted, then it means that when you go there, you can also maybe get a chance to be promoted. And then others, they also like to know about personal development, like what the organization does about personal development. Do they send you to courses? Do they send you to places where you're going to upskill you? And then this is an example of an interview.
What jobs have you had, which makes you suitable for this role?
I've worked at a butcher's before and had to recruit people off the street to buy meat. You know, like for example, knife crime. I've been one of those people that stand in the street asking people for money. Excuse me, miss, can I have a minute of your time? I've been one of those people.
I just want to clarify. So going over your resume, when you say in the work experience where it said you've worked in recruitment for the meat industry, meat standards and meat industry at large, what you mean by that is you worked in a butcher and you recruited people off the street, in your own words. Rashid?
Sorry. It was definitely an experience that I believe is very relevant to this role.
Just for my own peace of mind and just to, so I can unpack the pieces.
I see what you did there. Unpack the pieces. Good joke.
Yes. Recruitment in the sporting industry, what you mean by that with specific to JD Sports was that you worked in JD Sports recruiting people out of the mall to buy sporting wear. Is that also what you mean when you said recruitment in the sporting industry, specifically JD Sports?
Yeah, so I was actually one of the lead people recruiting the people off the streets. So it'll be more like, for example, like if you see someone coming on the street, "Hey, sweet one, do you wanna come through? Like, man's got some good deals for you, you know?" Stuff like that to, you know, help guide them into the store.
Great, Rashid. Okay.
Do you know
What
this guy's
jobs have you
joking,
had, which makes you...
This guy's joking, but this happens. It literally happens. This person lied on their CV, and now when you ask them questions, now they said they recruit people, but their definition of recruitment is not the one that is on the job description. So after the interview, you would send a thank you note to your interviewer just to show gratitude for the opportunity. Even after the interview, before you leave, you would say thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to hearing from you. And then for yourself, when you get home or after the interview, then you just write down the questions that they asked you. Like, these are the questions that they were asking me. So that the next time maybe you also remember that, oh, these are the kind of questions that they ask in this organization. And then you reward yourself. You maybe take a walk or de-stress, do something for yourself because it's a stressful situation. This is an example of thank you email. So after the interview, you send an email. What I also advise people to do is when you get not an automated one, when you get a rejection letter from an employer to say you didn't make it, you respond and say thank you for the opportunity. Please. Yeah, you do that. I actually had one student who got a rejection, and they responded and said thank you for the opportunity. If there are any opportunities in the near future, please don't hesitate to let me know. I will also apply. And then when they're offering that other person a job, the other person got another job somewhere, and then the position was vacant again. So they offered it to that guy simply because he showed appreciation. So you never know. It's just an email. It's 2 minutes. Okay, can we have this is our next QR code. Oh, is it gone? Is the money good? YouTube videos are also helpful. You just type how to prepare for an interview, or you go to Google and you say project manager job interview preparation, then something would appear that will give you guidance. Chat GPT. And you know, when we do online interviews, we can see when you're reading the answers. Yeah. Like they tell me about yourself interview. Usually you'd have it somewhere on your screen, and when you say you are reading, my name is. And then when you ask you a behavioral question, then you're not so confident like before. So I have my colleagues, Keke and Adi over there. They're going to just give us a preview of how an interview would go and how you would answer questions. So this is one of our jobs that we were advertising last month. We were looking for people to work with us in our offices, and we sent out this advert, and then we received invites, we received applications from students. So we only give opportunities to UP students. So did anyone see this job advert? Did anyone apply? Or because we only need you to assist us 10 hours a week. Yeah. Only 10 hours a week. You are putting meat on your CV and you're getting extra money. And then we had interviews. So we interviewed about 50 students, masters, honors, undergrads. And then these are the questions that we were asking. So the first question was, tell us about yourself.
Hi everyone. I'm gonna act like I'm responding to her, so I'm not gonna speaking to you guys. So thank you so much for granting me the opportunity to be interviewed by your department. My name is Adibaom Danaro. I am a third-year counseling psychology student at the University of Pretoria. Throughout my studies, I have developed myself and prepared myself for the workplace by participating in societies and committees. The most relevant one that I can think of right now is my involvement with the Junior Taki Committee, where we would go to high schools to help students know more about the career paths that they can take within the University of Pretoria. In future, I look forward into having an NGO where I can help students from disadvantaged communities know more about the career paths that they can take and how to make themselves employable, because my involvement with Junior Taki made me realize that this is my passion.
You see? You can't tell me about I'm a repeating third-year student. Because we had one guy said, I'm third year, but I'm repeating it. Why are you telling me you're repeating your third year? Why can't you just say I'm third year? And the next question is, what is your understanding of the position?
Thank you for that question. I read through the job description and I think I understand what is expected of me. So firstly, I understand that the purpose of an ambassador is to promote a brand. In this case, I believe that I would be expected to promote the career services brand in terms of the services that they offer, which may include CV and cover letter sessions, LinkedIn sessions, interview preparations, mock interviews. And I understand that they also have the mentorship program where they link final year students and postgraduate students with people that are already in the industry. And they also have the internship program where they place graduates at different departments at the university. I also understand that I will be tasked to promote the Ready for Work program, which is a short course provided by UP for free to its students to give them a competitive advantage in this competitive world of work. So basically with the Ready for Work, it basically prepares students to understand what is required of them in the world of work. And then I think there are 5 packages that students need to complete at their own time, at their own pace. And I think that students need to be aware of these services because these will allow them to make them stand out in the world of work. And I think that I would be the best candidate because I would love to be the middleman between the students and the career services. Thank you.
Thank you. Ne? Others, they just say, I don't know. In an interview, and you're saying you don't know. And then the next question is, why are you interested in becoming a student ambassador for the Career Services Office?
Like I've already stated in my response, helping students is something that I am passionate about, and I believe that this position grants me an opportunity to help students. As a student myself, I've realized that most UP students are not aware of the services that the university offers them, services that can help them prepare for the world of work, and which is what the career services does. So I would like to be someone who goes out there and tells students of all the amazing services that they can get from the career services. And I believe as someone who is good with communication, this would be a place for me to do that as well. And also liaise with faculties. In most cases, we have realized that most students are not aware of what the career services does. So I believe that this will be an opportunity for me to help students be more employable.
Okay. Describe a time when you demonstrated leadership skills in a team. So this one is a behavioral question. As soon as they say describe, give us an example of. Can you provide an example of where you showed initiative and collaborative skills to go above and beyond on a task? Collaboration, initiative.
So thank you for that question. As I have already mentioned, I'm part of the Junior Techie. So with Junior Techie, we basically collaborate with high schools to expose high school students to what the university offers in terms of the courses that they can apply for and the requirements. So I remember last year, we were planning an event. However, we did not have funding. So I took it upon myself to do research on the companies that are willing to fund non-profit organizations. And I also reached out to the project coordinator to get a list of companies that funded previous events. And then out of all of that, I was able to reach out to 20 companies. And then 5 of them responded, and we were able to pitch the event, and they did agree to fund the event. And the event was organized, planned, and it was successful. And through this, I understand that with the career services, I would be expected to collaborate and take initiative in terms of reaching out to other societies in order to reach more students. So I think I'm prepared for that part.
Okay. And then part of our work at UP Career Services is for us to promote the Ready for Work program. So we asked the people to give us an example of how they would pitch the Ready for Work to students.
Okay, so the first thing, so I'm gonna act like there is a student approaching who's not aware of what the Ready for Work is. So first thing, I will greet the student. Hi, my name is Adibao. I am an employability consultant at the Career Services. I understand that you're still studying, however, you need to be aware that post your studies, there is life, and life is at the workplace. And the Career Services has this amazing short course that you can find on ClickUp that can help you prepare for the work environment. So basically, the Ready for Work is a short course free of charge. You sign up for it, you get to do it at your own time, at your own pace, and it basically consists of 5 packages. In all those packages, you get an opportunity to know how to plan your career. You get to know how to write a report. You also get to learn about emotional intelligence in the workplace. So it's a lot of things, and these are things that you don't get taught in the classroom. And hence, the Career Services, offers this so that when you leave your studies, you are more employable and you know how to handle the work environment. So if you would like to sign up, I can help you sign up. There is no pressure. You'll just do it during recess when you have time. And once you're done, you get an opportunity to get certificates for each package that you can add on your CV or also share on LinkedIn just to show that you're also doing something outside your studies. So just take out your phone, let's go to ClickUp and sign up.
So this is the Ready for Work. Have you done the Ready for Work? Do you have all 5 packages? Because remember, it also helps you to get on-campus jobs opportunity. So if you only have 4 packages, you can enroll and only do package number 5. So these are the steps to enrolling for the Ready for Work program. And then after you're done, you send us those 5 certificates to our email address, careerservices@up.ac.za, and then we send you a database, a Google form for the on-campus job database, so that when we have jobs on campus, then we take from that pool. So thank you so much for coming today. And hopefully we will see you. I see all these faces. I want to see all those faces there by UP Career Services. Do you know where our offices are? Questions? We have the lady here said 1 minute.
No, it was 1 minute for your presentation. Now we've got questions.
Okay. So now we have
Yes.
the floor is open. Thank you to our ladies. Would you hire them?
All right. Thank you so much. First, thank you so much for your presentation. We're going to do Q&A just now, but I
Okay.
also wanted to, we're going to take 3. If there's time for another 3. Okay, fine. All right. Sorry, there was 1, 2, 3. 2, 3.
Awesome, thank you. I heard you say that people came in for interviews at Career Service. I would just like to know, the vacancies that are on campus, for example, do you just call people based on their CVs and then be like, come for an interview, or you send out vacancies like they usually do on emails on the database? I think that's all.
Okay. So all the job opportunities that we have, we share them on our social media, especially on LinkedIn, at UP Career Services on LinkedIn. So if you go there, there are adverts that we sent, I think, last week. And then we also share them on an emailer. So the emailer, I know students feel that we bombard them with emails from Career Services. Some even block us. But please, don't block us. Just read the email and move on. Because now we have students, especially graduates, who are looking for jobs. Then they come to our office, can you please unblock me? And you're like, why did you even block us in the first place? Like, no, now I'm looking for a job. I need your help, and I need to see what kind of opportunities you guys are offering. Please unblock me. Because remember, we don't not only share job opportunities, we also share things that are happening on campus. So companies always come on campus. They do industry presentations. So we'd send those emailers. Hey guys, KPMG is on campus. They want to talk to people who are doing accounting on this day at this time. Please go. You know, it's so disappointing when you get there. I remember first rent came on campus, and we got there 1 o'clock. 2 students came, only 2, out of the whole university. What do you tell that guy? Do you think he'll come back tomorrow? So please read your emails, ne? And attend the sessions. They are all for you. We are here to empower you. We are the middleman between your academics and the world of work. So you must use us as a bridge.
Great stuff. Can we have question 2?
Hello. So I did my Ready for Work back in 2019, and I think it was 4 packages. When did it become 5, and how do I go about getting just the 5th one without having to redo the entire course?
There was a slide.
So the 5th package was introduced, I think, last year, because they saw that there's a need for you to know those things on package 5, like your public speaking, diversity and discrimination in the workplace. You need to know these things before you go to the workplace. So what you do is you enroll for the Ready for Work. You go onto ClickUp, institution page, Ready for Work, and you submit. And then you only do package 5. Once you do package 5 and you're done, then you get a certificate. Then you have 5. Yeah.
Great. We've got 2 more on the side, 1 here, and then
Yeah, I wanted to ask, I think it was in June, Career Service sent an email saying that we can review our CV. But then I submitted mine and I haven't gotten feedback on that.
Okay. So we received over 1,000 CVs. So we're still working on your CV. So you will get it. Normally, what we would do is we look at your CV and then we give comments, and then we send your comments together with our templates. So we have a template that employers prefer, not your Canva templates, because the Canva template has a lot going on. So you have tables, you have pictures, you have things. But then ATS is not looking for those things. Remember, ATS is looking for keywords. So you're confusing the system when you're putting more lines, more pictures and things, and they're not looking for pictures, except if they say, I want a picture of you, then you put your picture. But if they say, CV, apply, there's no need for a picture. Maybe you're still in the line. You're on the queue.
don't worry, you're next on the list.
Okay, mine is a question. Considering that there are a lot of people applying for the same jobs, how then does one make their job application stand out? Like in terms of your CV, your resume, how do you go about making sure that yours is,
Okay. So, simple things. You know, the guy who's working with recruitment and internships, the smallest things, he disqualifies you because there's a lot of them. So if he said 5 certificates and you put 4, automatically you're out. So you should have 5. If he says you must send a CV, Ready for Work certificate, academic record, and you don't send your academic record, you're out. So the small things, you must just look at what they want. On your CV, people write religion, people write sex, people write hobbies, people write married, ID number. I don't want your ID number. First page is just information that is not relevant. And then there's also this thing of saying curriculum vitae of who, 1 page gone. Like, recruiters spend 5 to 7 seconds looking at a CV. So those things, it's not necessary. So you must concentrate more on the responsibilities, aligning what you were doing or what you have your experience with what is on the job description.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I have about 3 short questions. So the first one is, how do you navigate internet problems in an online interview? Because that has happened so much to me, whereas I've prepared, I've checked, and then during the interview, there's just like network problems, and you just sort of freak out. So what do you do in that moment? Do you just like call them? And then also, how do you like phrase your question so it's not too long, because sometimes you're only allocated 30 minutes for the interview, so you don't also want to give like long stories. Also, if you are asked a question where you really genuinely don't know, how do you answer that without saying, I don't know? Thank you.
Okay, so we've had people not knowing the answer, and it's okay. It's just the way you phrase it. So you would be honest and tell them, I don't know that question. I've never had experience in it, but I'm a fast learner. I'm a sponge. I absorb things. So if you teach me or if you show me how to do it, I will run with it. You become positive. You tell them that you are willing to learn because you are a student. Maybe you don't have experience in what they're asking you. I don't have experience in these things, but I'm a fast learner, I'm a quick learner, I'm willing to learn. Those kind of answers. And what was the other question? Oh yeah, so what I do if I'm having an interview online is I would use a Wi-Fi, but I'd also buy data, just in case. So if the Wi-Fi is acting up, then I switch it off and I switch to data. But then you always make them aware that I'm having internet issues, and most of them they do understand. And if it's bad, then you can always ask them to reschedule. Yeah, that's why you need mock interviews, so so that we prepare and we train you on how to answer certain questions and how to be, succinct and brief, and not go on, and now they're starting to get bored. Now you're even going off ramp.
Great, thank you. Last one, 2
Last
seconds.
question.
2 seconds.
I'm just curious. So during interviews, does it matter in using certain phrases like, because I know I won't say it's me, but in certain instances, you just kind of want to retrace your thoughts and then you use, so is it a problem and is it something to avoid during interviews?
I'd say it depends on the number of arms. Sometimes you're using just to think. Sometimes you're using arms because you don't know. So too much of everything is never good. So if I'm an interviewer, I would even lose what you're trying to say because now I'm distracted by the number of arms you're saying. So that's why we say practice, 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 mock interviews. Even if you don't come to our offices for mock interviews, you can always ask your friend. The minute your friend asks you, tell me about yourself, you become serious. Even you yourself, you become serious because you can hear this is serious things. So please always prepare. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Can we give a round of applause for that session? It's been really great, and I mean, the engagement shows you that it's something that we wanted to hear about. I wanted to give a vote of thanks. I'll hand over to you.
Say thank you to the career services. I know many people ask questions. I also had a question, but she tells me I can't ask. But my question is on behalf of the scholars. Someone told me most of the jobs that are posted many times on the platform, and it requires that you be South African. And most of the international students, especially under Mastercard, are feeling like, why do you send them to me? And that's why they block you. But then, on a positive note, thank you very much for the mentorship program that you started. I am a mentee under that program, and I met with my mentor 2 weeks ago, and it's working. Thank you.
Thank you. So we do have certain jobs that when it's advertised, it would say it's only for South African citizens. These are the jobs that are being funded by let's say, SETAs or the department. So they would have funding and they would say, we're going to fund maybe 30 students to work at the university and we only need South African citizens. But then there are other job opportunities, like the one that we're doing, the ambassadors one. That one was for everyone. Even we struggled to find one international student. So if you know someone who's at the Mamelodi campus, please, you can tell them to apply. Ne?
Great. Thank you so much, Josiah, for that question. And votes of thanks. We really do appreciate it.